Guys, part 2 of what it takes to be a dancer. So I talked more beginner stuff, but I'm going to finish explaining things that you need as a dancer, or typically they recommend as a dancer. So I already covered dance wear, and I already covered dance blocks, ballet bars, mats, and point shoes, ballet shoes, that sort of stuff. Now I'm covering stuff for tap. Tap is actually a style that is very cheap because you really only need one thing, which is a pair of tap shoes. And again, if you use my hat, Walmart, Target, Amazon, you can save some money and they're actually good quality. But tap shoes are really all you need for tap. With jazz, typically jazz, and there are jazz shoes. There are jazz shoes. I don't own a pair, but there are jazz shoes. But even then, I feel like jazz is also a cheaper style. Then there's stretching bands, which are always great on your own time, but not really in class too much. Then let me think here. I'm trying to really think about every style and things that you need for different styles. It's not, now that I think about it, I'm moving to jumps and turns. Jumps and turns, typically for jumps, you don't need anything, not even any form of shoes usually. But with turns, there are turning shoes. And shoes, I feel like I would recommend them, but you kind of don't need them. I recommend, I don't have them. It's not that you don't need them, it's just good because sometimes your feet stick to the floor. And I tried cheater shoes for that, and they're comfortable to wear. And cheater shoes are great for if you're doing a dance or something, and there's not a specific type of shoe that you need. But for jumps and turns, do not use cheater shoes because they wear out really fast. Luckily, only if you go to Walmart, you can get cheater shoes for $6, I think. I feel like from that point I covered most of the big stuff, and stuff other than shoes, and I covered shoes. I feel like for the most part, different styles, different shoes, but I covered pretty much all of the big stuff. Oh wait, no, I haven't. There's some stuff that I forgot, which is, now this is something that is expensive. I don't own this because I found I have dance blocks and I can do some similar, which is balancing plates or anything for balance, because they can be kind of pricey, but overall, I feel like it's the sort of thing that can be pricey and it's not necessarily used in class, but it's always something that you might want to look into at some point. Then it depends. This is one item that it depends, but kind of too. It depends if you're in person or on Zoom. If you're in person, you will probably need this, which is a dance bag. Now, a dancer, typically you can use a backpack, but typically I would recommend a dance bag. And I wish I could get mine down to show you, but it's up on the shelf and under a bunch of pillows and stuff, and I'm short. So yeah, a dance bag, and just look up an athlete's bag, and you can look up dance bag and you'll see images and stuff. Then I would recommend a water bottle. and not well, if I, like, a reusable water bottle, if I'm saying. Like, a reusable water bottle. Because being a dancer is something that I recently found out, and by recently I mean like yesterday. Or day, I was just like looking around on like the internet just at like different dance things. Actually, I looked it up because which is dancers do have a special diet, kind of. And what I found was this was something that I looked into because I keep seeing like videos all the time of like different dancers saying their diets and things. And at first I didn't really have one, but I kind of did. I would kind of just like whatever. And I was kind of close to right, but also dancers typically have a water-based diet, meaning they drink a lot of water. And so for me, something that I'm actually gonna start doing and stuff, because I kind of got into a bad habit of not drinking water. Because basically we have a like filter system in our fridge for water, but I don't like it too much. Like, I'm picky with water, and it's weird because some people say water doesn't have a taste. It does. And so if I were to hand you a cup, just sink water, just like pure sink water, and a cup of like nice filtered water, and then a cup with like bottled water with like some like kind of cheap bottled water, and a cup with like some like fancier like bottled water, and you would taste it like you take a sip of it, and you're telling me you don't taste the difference between them. Water has a taste. I enjoy the taste. I don't really love it too much, but I sit back and I enjoy it. So, yeah, I recommend a reusable water bottle. It's fine if it's plastic, because even though like safe, like ocean and stuff, but I feel like with a reusable water bottle, it doesn't matter, because it's just because when you're done with it, you're just gonna rinse it out and use it again. Like, you're literally just gonna clean it and use it again. So like, and you're just gonna continue using it for like a really long time until it gets so like gross and like moldy to where you have to get rid of it. So like, yeah, but dancers have a water-based diet. And I'm encouraging for me, for some reason, I prefer like just drinking water, like getting water from our sink in the bath. But something else is that dancers do kind of have a diet, but it's a really easy to stick to diet, because my thing was I never looked into anything like that, because I'm a picky eater and I don't like sticking to diets too. But it is an easy diet. It's a water-based diet, meaning lots of water, and it's literally carbs. Eating a lot of calories and stuff. A dancer should be eating about 1,000 calories a day. But the thing is, you're also, like, here's the thing, is that sounds like a lot, and you're probably like, oh, I'm gonna get fat from it, which is fine. The water, first up, dance is active, meaning dance is necessarily, it goes back and forth. The opinion on if dance is a sport goes back and forth. I think dance is kind of a sport, but not really. I think dance, like when you think of the word sports, you don't think dance. Or at least for me, I don't. But dance is kind of like a sport. Or if you look it up, dance is classified as a sport. I don't think it is though. Because it's just constant moving. So as a dancer, you're constantly moving all the time. And you're constantly drinking water. And something else as a dancer is that you primarily need a lot of dairy, which is great because I love milk. Like, I love me some white milk. Only white milk. And I love cheese on, like, pizza, and I just in general like dairy. So that works for me. And the reason that you need this is because you're constantly go, 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 and your body kind of just uses it to keep up. Now, another tip as a dancer is trust the teacher. This is something that some parents primarily, some people struggle with. You gotta learn to trust the teacher, meaning if the teacher wants you to do something, you gotta do it. You don't fight back, you don't argue, you're just like, okay, and you do it. Now, for the most part, like, obviously there's certain things that you're not gonna do. Like, if the teacher tells you to go, like, sabotage someone, you're not gonna do it. Like, that's just wrong. But, if the teacher tells you, you do 100 cartwheels, you're gonna do 100 cartwheels with no breaks. That's dance. Now, with me, my thing is that, because some people generally like to fight back at like, oh, you shouldn't make my kid do this because my kid's better than everyone. Don't have an attitude. You're just making it that much harder on the teacher, and you're making it that much harder on your kid. And if you have a kid that is the one dancing, because then the teacher might look at that and be like, oh, now, because you said that, now I'm going to give your kid another 100 cartwheels. Well, another tip. And so just trust the teacher. The teacher may not be able to convey their plan to you at all times, but just trust them and know that they want your kid to succeed just as much as you do. Just because they're hard on your kid or telling your kid that they're not the greatest, that's just their way. Now, if it's a bad environment, then 100% pull your kid out. Don't argue with the teacher to pull your kid out. But, like, sometimes it's the teacher's way of believing you and pushing you to be the best that you can be. Now, another thing with dance is that you're constantly going, meaning and there's long hours. It kind of takes over your life, if that makes sense. So now, something that I do is that I try to remember every dance that we do, meaning every step of every dance. There's one that we did on, I think it might have been week 1, but I feel like it was week 2 of Worldwide. And I still remember the dance completely. And it's hard to do that because sometimes you don't get a ton of time to learn the dance and pick it up fast and to look back on it, which actually I'm planning to potentially make a video one day of doing the routine. But the problem with it is I don't have footage from when I first did the routine, so I can't really say what's improved, but I know in my brain what's improved. And stuff. But I still remember like almost every step from that routine. And I can look at it now. Yeah, it was week 2. And since then I've grown as a dancer. Another thing is show up to class. So here's the thing, and you can, like, dance privates are great. And they're great if you're struggling with a certain trick or with a certain thing in dance and you need help working on it, like, that's great. And dance privates are great for that, because for those who don't know, dance privates are one-on-one. So they're kind of like a dance class that's conveyed to what you need to work on, and it's only you and the teacher. But show up to class, because you're actually hurting yourself more not showing up to class. Because in dance, what you do typically in class is you pick someone. You pick someone that's a little bit better than you. And you focus on yourself, obviously, and do what is going on in the class. But every once in a while, you look at yourself and then you kind of look over at them and see what they're doing. And what it does is and then you look back at yourself. And it's a repeated process of what you're doing. And because then doing that, it's gonna make you want to work even harder because they are a little bit better than you. So then you're gonna get better than them. And then it's just gonna cause rivalry. And it's just gonna cause some competition. Some friendly competition in the studio. I'm like constantly pushing each other to be better. Because they're pushing you to be better, you're pushing them to be better. And it's just a constant repeat. Which is good. Another tip, don't be afraid to do any style. Meaning, even if you're not good at it, whatever style or, like, don't be afraid to do any style. Even if you're not good at it, even if you need help with it, even if you're not confident in it. And do it and just try to enjoy it, because it's really going to help you and make you a better dancer. And right now I'm trying to think of other tips. Oh wait, this one, how could I forget this? This is this one's a little one, but it's kind of important. So there's 2. First up, deodorant and perfume. Because you never want to be the smelly one in dance. Or keep some on hand, because then if you have like a quick break, you can always apply some more. Or just because for me, even when I'm on Zoom, I hate when I'm smelly. Like after, like when I'm sweaty, gross, and kind of smelly. So I like to just quickly put some perfume on and smell nice again. It drives me crazy. But you never want to be the smelly one in dance. And the other tip is hair ties and bobby pins. Because you never know when a bobby pin's gonna fall out of your hair. So you constantly want to have extra so your hair's not in your face. So peace out. Hopefully this was helpful.